Will, do you want to make a T-Rex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's go make a T-Rex. In Dinosaur Island, each player controls a corporation and an island and attempts to create the best dino park. So each phase of the game is on its own board, and it takes place right here. Let me just show you right here. So in the first phase, players will collect DNA from these different dice. They will increase their cold storage right there. And they will be able to purchase dinosaur recipes. So for example, let me show you this Stegosaurus recipe right there. You'll be able to purchase that with your scientists. Next up is the Phase 2 board right over here. So on the Phase 2 board, players will be able to purchase upgrades for lab equipment, attractions. They'll be able to hire specialists, or they can even purchase some of the DNA that they need for later rounds. Next up is Phase 3, which happens on your own personal board there. So in Phase 3, you will assign your workers to their labs to perform different tasks, including increasing security, building bigger dino paddocks, actually creating dinosaurs from the recipes that you purchased in Phase 1. Once that is done, you move over to Phase 4, which is your own personal island board, and this is where you're going to start letting your guests into the park. So you will grab this bag right here, and this bag has all of your guests in it. So you will go ahead and look at what your excitement level is. The very top of the victory point track right there. You will see what your excitement level is, and you will draw that many patrons into your park. So when you draw, you'll draw randomly. Now the yellow patrons will go ahead and give you admission fees to get into your park. And once they enter your park, they will give you victory points. However, there are hooligans, and hooligans will sneak into your park for free, and if they go to an attraction that would normally give you points, well, they don't give you any points because they've snuck in for free and they're all not that cool. After everybody has entered the park and paid their admission if they're supposed to, then you go ahead and you check your threat level. So your threat level will be right here on your Phase 3 board. You will take that plus any die that wasn't used in Phase 1. You will check the number of pips on there, and whichever die had the highest that wasn't used, you go ahead and use that. You count that plus whatever your threat level is. And if that is higher than your current security level, well, then that many patrons unfortunately get eaten by dinosaurs. And yellow patrons always get eaten first, then the hooligans get eaten first. Once that's done, that's when you actually collect the points. So they have to survive to give you the points. They don't have to survive to pay admission, though. So they still got in, they paid you, but unfortunately, they didn't survive to give you any points for Phase 4. Phase 5 is just a cleanup phase where you're going to clean stuff up. All the surviving patrons will go back into the bag. All the eaten patrons, of course, will go back into the bag as well. And you will continue back on to Phase 1. Now, each game will have some random objective cards, and I've gone ahead and just picked 3 for a short game right there. So whenever any player earns an objective, you go ahead and you place your marker right on that objective, and you collect the points for that. Now, these can be earned by every player, so once somebody has an objective, another player can still earn it. But once there is one objective left with nothing left on it, that'll trigger the end of the game. There are also plot twists that you will have in the game. Now, the plot twists will sometimes be beneficial, sometimes they won't be very beneficial at all. So for example, for the first plot twist, each player gains any one advanced DNA at the end of each round. So after round 5, you get a free advanced DNA, which is fantastic. But the next plot twist is really not good, because you'll discard all of the items in the $2 and $3 rows when you refresh the market right there. So these top rows will always be wiped off. So if nobody purchased anything from those, well, you don't have an opportunity to purchase from them. Those are going to be wiped off. Everything will be moved up, of course, in Phase 5. But that is Dinosaur Island.
Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.
That was a quick explanation of Dinosaur Island. So let me go right into my review right here. And I've started actually writing stuff down in my little notebook right here, so I can be a little bit more concise with my review. So let's start off with some of the negatives of this game. First of all, it has a very large footprint. This game takes up a lot of table space. So if you are limited on table space, you might be limited in how you can set this game up. Now I have a 4-person table. We can actually fit 6 on it if we grab some extra chairs, but this game only holds up to 4 players. But if you're going to play a full 4-player game, it's going to take some creative arranging to get everything out for everybody. We might even have to put the victory points board and this board even maybe on a separate side table, because this doesn't really have to be on the main table, but that might be something that we might have to do to accommodate this on the table. Next up, if you are a person who likes to put the expansions for games in the base game, well, that's not going to happen in this. Now, I still have the game actually set up on my table, but if you look right here, this is packed full of stuff. And once you put everything in there, this box is packed up to the brim. So for any expansions for this game that come out in the future, you're really not going to fit them into this box. You're going to have to keep them separate, or figure out a different storage solution. But I mean, why would you want to have a different storage solution and not have this beautiful artwork? I mean, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep everything separate. Next up is that this is an AP-prone game. So if you have a player that suffers from analysis paralysis, this might be something that might be a struggle for them, because there are some parts in the game where you're going to be just trying to figure out, you know, exactly what the best move is, and it could slow down this game. Once players get used to the game and stuff, it might speed up a little bit, but there's still some AP-prone sections of the game where they're still trying to think about what they want to do. Hopefully they're thinking about their actions before they come up, but there's a chance that somebody could steal an action and stuff like that. So this is an AP-prone game. Now on to my positives. Of course, my first one is dinosaurs. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to build their own dinosaur park? Who doesn't love dinosaurs? I'm sure there are people that don't. I'm sure that there are people that don't love dinosaurs, but I mean, dinosaurs are awesome. I was born in the 80s, of course, so don't do the math on my age. But dinosaurs were like a big pop culture thing. I grew up watching the Dinosaurs TV show and stuff like that, but dinosaurs are just awesome and fun and fantastic. Next for me are the random components. So with the objectives and the plot twists, those will be random every game, so you don't know exactly what goals you'll be going for, so you might have to change up how you play the game. Of course, the different attractions that come up, the specialists that come up, those are going to be different. And also, the dice are random. Not only are they randomly rolled, you don't know what side they're going to be, each die in the game actually has a different makeup of them. So while this die has, you know, the yellow advanced DNA on it, this one right here, let's see here, both those have yellow. This one has the pink advanced DNA on it, and this one has a side that you can get at least 3 random basic DNA, and this one has a 3 side. This one is the light blue side. So you have some randomness in the game that kind of make every game a little bit different. You don't know exactly what's going to come up, so you can't play the same style game every single time, which is fantastic. Another thing I really like about the game is its modular style. Now, I complained about having a large footprint, but I like that each phase of the game is its own separate board. So you don't have to worry about focusing on different parts of the board, trying to figure out where stuff is on one singular board. Every board is separate. So you know, this is phase 1, we're going to focus on this board. Now we're going to move on to phase 2, and we're going to focus on this board. Here's phase 3, which is your own board. Here's phase 4, which is that. Now you're going to be doing some stuff on like your own personal board for your DNA and that kind of stuff, but in general you can focus on that one board, and I think that really makes the game focus and kind of helps, and it really makes the game very, very enjoyable. Now this has become one of my absolute favorite games, so much so I am going to give it my Cloak and Meeple seal of excellence. But if this looks like something that you would enjoy, I would definitely contact your friendly local game store to see if you can find that, or wherever you purchase games. If you can find the Extreme Edition and it's not too much, I would probably say it is okay. The metal coins I think are worth it. Some of the extra stuff that you get, you're going to get some plot twists. They're going to give you some extra hooligans and some VIPs. And VIPs do something tricky to the game. There's actually an extra die in the game, but there isn't that much that is extra in the Extreme Edition. So just the basic edition, if that's all you can find, I still think that is well worth it. And as always, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. Down below are going to be links for my Patreon and Pod Pledge, where you can donate to me there. You can also buy shirts from geekygoodies.com. And as always, thanks for watching.